Hey, this is Scott Liberto, and I'm here for the Southern Fried Gaming Expo Virtual Edition. Keep watching all these shows. It's been a pretty good show so far, and I've got a special guest I think you've been looking forward to. He is called the Gamer of the Century, King of Kong. He's a competitive gamer known for getting high scores for classic Golden Age video games like PacMan and Donkey Kong. Now, recently, he's been known, unfortunately, for a cheating controversy that started about 2 years ago in 2018. Billy had all of his scores removed from Twin Galaxies and the Guinness Book of World Records. Well, when this all started in 2018, Bill went to the Southern Fried Gaming Expo and conference style, press style, he went ahead and sat, confronted everybody, said what he was going to do, and he said he was going to be on a road to redemption. So he started his road to redemption there. Fast forward 2 years later, you've got on June 18th, 2020, not long ago, the Guinness Book of World Records decided to reverse all of Twin Galaxy decisions. Now, this is what they cited. In this case, a re-examination of the records in question and the emergence of key witness and expert testimonials led to a reversal of earlier disqualifications and the reinstatement of Mr. Mitchell's original records. The Guinness, so that's what Guinness said. Now, on the other hand, Twin Galaxies are sticking by their allegations. And so, but all at the same time, the trusted advisor, which is Twin Galaxies, had their designation pulled from them. So they're no longer the place that is going to monitor game scores and handle all disputes. And so now, right now, Billy holds a whole bunch of records, and they're all reinstated back on the book, including his first kill screen on Donkey Kong that happened November 7th, 1982. And also, he had the first 1 million points on Donkey Kong, and the first person to get a perfect game on PacMan. So, here we go. I've got Mr. Billy Mitchell. I'm going to pull him in right here. How you doing, Bill?
Things are always good. Thank you very much.
Good. You've had one heck of a couple years, and at this point in time, you've got redemption, or do you? Does it feel like redemption?
There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of emotions that go into this all the way along the ways. And depending at the point in time you would ask me, you might get a different one. So that's true.
Okay.
It was a combination of things. It was a combination of knowing what had to be done, had to be visited, had to be reviewed, but had to be achieved also. And I think I spoke of all of that at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo. And when I walked off the stage, I sort of said to myself, whew, boy, that's a lot to live up to. And at that point, I sort of realized how much I had bitten off. And you'd have to understand the support structure that I have. You have to understand everything that went into this. In some ways, it made it very easy. But the truth is, there's nothing easy about anything.
Yeah, because you had to, you went through a year of persecution and all this stuff that came on in all the blogs and. But now, how do you feel right now? Do you feel vindicated? Do you have more to do? Because I don't even know if you're able to continue to put up scores. Will Guinness Book of World Record recognize your scores going forward?
Well, of course they will, because all the scores are done live and they have their standards by which we would abide by.
Right.
They don't do me any favors, but they also don't work against me in any other way. They're a fair organization that celebrates human achievement. And so I felt very confident as how the future would go with them, what it would mean, how it would happen. And it did. I will say that nothing ever happens fast. You sit there and you see things on TV, you see it in the movies, and everything seems to happen in an hour. And that sounds good. Nothing happens fast. And that's probably the most frustrating thing.
Now, I know you've been trying to achieve some other high scores. In fact, you not only tried to, I think you've gotten 1 or 2 perfect games, and also Donkey Kong, you achieved a high score just a few weeks ago.
Well, let me pick on you, Scott. What is this try to stuff?
Well, you tried.
When I was on the stage,
you tried
there in Atlanta,
and you got it, didn't you? You did it twice.
I said
right?
exactly what I was going to do.
Okay.
I said I was going to take each score in question during this process that I knew would take too long. Mm-hmm. And I said I would redo them in a public event under all the right auspices, and I would do it again. I said I would hit the score on the head, and I walk away and let it die. Just a little cynicism I had within me. Well, when my son set up Twitch, in the first month I hit 1 million point scores within 1 week, something that people said I never did. And I did 3 in a week. Then at a live event, I hit an exact score and killed it. Another live event, I hit an exact score and killed it. And then on the 20th anniversary of the Perfect PacMan, I went back to the original venue, Fun Spot in New Hampshire, and I announced that I was going to do it. So I like that because it really put the pressure on me. I announced I was going to do it. I did it. It felt good to do it. Everybody at Fun Spot was awesome. You know, I don't think other people involved in this indirectly like the fact that their history or how they were a part of it, how they participated, how they verified it. I don't think they like their history tainted either. So it was very refreshing to a lot of people. So I pick on people like you. I know you well enough that I can pick on you.
Yeah, I'm going to pick on you before
when you
this
congratulate me
over,
for getting my Guinness scores back, are you talking about the scores throughout history and they're being re-solidified? Or are you congratulating me that I simply went out and did them again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what? Maybe both.
I think you deserve congratulations for just surviving the entire ordeal. But I will tell you, you more than survived. I think on June 27th, you went, and I saw you playing game after game because you're big on Twitch. And you take your games, you talk to the people for hours on end. And go ahead and go there, guys. It's a real fun time. You get to watch a pro play the game, and he plays it like no other, really. He really is the king of Kong. But at Glitch in Fort Lauderdale on June 27th of 2020, you best yourself at 1,092,100. How did that feel?
No, that was good. That was the highest I had ever done on stream. And once again, I liked it because it was in a public venue. Because I made this commitment to myself that each time I approach a score and I'm at home on Twitch, I would just kill it at 1 million. Because I like significant things to be done in a public venue. Yeah. But fortunately, that score came while we were there at Glitch. There had been some visitors who came to town, just fans who came to town and see. And what I didn't know when I began this, my son and a couple other people brought to my attention was, I always play live, always. I've never played on Twitch or anything that it wasn't live. And I didn't realize that when people played and they got a significant score, then they took it and they uploaded it to Twitch. I always thought it was live. So, and there are some exceptions to it, but with some people, but I always played live, and now it's very rewarding for me to know that so many other players now play live. They don't just upload score, and I like that. I like it very much. I don't think I'll ever upload a performance to Twitch.
Yeah, now
live. But the interaction with the people, the conversations that go on while I play,
right?
I don't know how I would play without that. I have people say to me, "Gee, how do you talk and play at the same time?" I mean, good, respected friends.
Yeah.
And I say, how do you not talk? So if that's something that's unique to me or allows me to interact with the crowd better, well, then that's awesome.
And you've got Neal Hernandez there helping you out. He's your friend, and he's the guy who you always see in the stream. Everybody blames everything on, and he makes the best
you
darn
can't,
Mario
you can't
or
always see him
Jumpman.
in the stream because he's not always tall enough for the camera.
That's true. I do see him bounce up and down every so often. I know he's there. I see this. So,
Right.
but compared to you, how tall are you, Bill?
Well, they say I'm 6'6".
They say.
I'm at least 6'5".
Okay, 6'5".
Yeah.
So 6'5", 6'6". It depends upon what shoes you're wearing, I guess.
Right.
So, yeah, you're a pretty big dude. Now, you being a big dude, how can you handle Robbie Lakeman beating your score or getting the high score of 1,259,000 on Donkey Kong on June 15th?
Well, with Robbie, what we do is we actually deduct a certain amount from his score because he was born after Donkey Kong. Therefore we got to categorize things. I get like I don't know, maybe a senior discount or something. I don't really know.
Okay. I never thought you'd ever ask for a handicap, but I guess you're not getting any younger, huh?
Yeah, but it's funny with with your years of experience, people say you should be losing certain skills, and I don't know. I guess eventually you do, but certainly with the years come wisdom, and but it's a lot of fun. People like Robbie, to know that it's another generation coming forward. I like the fact that people say, "Oh, I realized this from you," or "I learned about that from you," and the truth is, I actually do learn things from other people who come along. Whether I actually learn it directly or if I learn it because my experience with them teaches me something. So it's really rewarding. It really is. I look back on the situation because we're talking about the Southern Fried Gaming Expo and that moment when I went in there to address things. I mean, I remember, my wife was with me. I remember my line is, I always say, wow, we're going into the lion's den. And I sat there and I addressed things, and I found it extraordinary that there in the audience was a couple of media people. And I had said how we had begun to do things and begun a process that would take a long time. And we had some paperwork and things available. And it was amazing to me that those people didn't come up as you normally would as a professional, introduce yourself, who you're with or what credentials are, or ask any questions. And they didn't do that. That's kind of odd to me. They certainly wrote about it. They certainly wrote later. They certainly had a sharp tongue once they were out of the room. And some of those people would like to come back now and ask questions. And I'm not available to answer their questions. But there were certain people, I think of the guy who was in the room behind the camera, who immediately the next day when the first article went out, he went on there and he put out his opinion and what he saw and what he expected. And then I never knew he did that until years later when someone else came along and said, wow, you're right. He did say what he was going to do. Gee, he did follow up exactly as he promised there at the convention. So you ask how it feels or how it affects me. I made it a point that I had to reach out to those people I speak of, tell them, gee, I now realize what you said, what you did, or how you reacted, or the respect you gave. And I found the need to contact them and say thank you. So I did.
Now, you've got a lot of people out there who are like, okay, and let me play the devil's advocate, okay? I'm going to play the person who is not the Billy fan, okay?
Okay, so. See, but you love to do that because everybody loves to do that.
Yes.
And that's okay because that is the fun part. But yes. The fact is, overwhelmingly, in the 90-some-odd percentile, I get overrun with positive stuff.
Right.
But even when I'm on Twitch, I'll say to somebody, okay, guys, we're in between games. I'll say, hold on, let me find some hate mail. And I'll pull it up in my phone.
Right.
And everybody loves hate mail with Billy Mitchell. So what you're about to do is pretty fun. So yeah. Go with it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me turn that off. Time to turn off the phone and put it in airplane mode, kids. Okay, so Billy, You cheated. Why did you cheat? I don't understand. I see you playing all these other games and stuff, but apparently the evidence was completely stacked against you. How can you possibly say that you're innocent when they have all this evidence that says otherwise?
Okay. Well, first of all, I ask them about the evidence, and I do. I return every email or every response I get.
Mm-hmm.
I ask them what evidence they're speaking of and where it came from. Always consider the source.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I offer them evidence from other sources that is completely contradictory to what they say. And then I'll often hear, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Billy, just a little off the subject. Billy, how come you didn't go to Fun Spot? And I go, when did I not go to Fun Spot? That time in the movie. I go, well, I don't know. I was at Fun Spot 3 times in 1999, twice in the year 2000, again in the year 2002. I go, you're right. I did miss in 2005. I was there all the other times. Oh, I didn't know that. People only know what they're told. Okay. The blog, the chat room, what some would call the mob mentality. When you put that in front of somebody who's very fair, when you put it in front of somebody who's doing a legitimate investigation, then that mentality doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It's overwhelming. You know, one thing that the guy, very, very kind manager from Fun Spot said to me, he goes, Billy, you were here when you did it. He goes, we were all watching. He said, if you didn't do it, what were we watching? And I started laughing, and it was difficult because I started laughing and he didn't realize why. And then I explained to him why. He realized I wasn't being stupid or disrespectful. I said, yeah, you're right. What were you guys watching? And then I came to realize that in each instance, as they speak about these allegations, they don't bring to your attention that those events were done live in a venue in front of people or
Right.
technicians.
Mm-hmm.
or the media or other game players.
Right.
Okay, so so many different people that I spoke to taught me different things. Like that was one statement when he said, well, what were all we watching? You know, and then somebody said, well, somebody claims to have science evidence. And then it was real easy. We have science evidence also. The guy said to me, he goes, in an argument, in a courtroom, in a trial, both sides have science. Which side do you believe? And so we just began to put everything together historically, which wasn't difficult, but it was really time consuming.
Yeah.
And this was something that any fair group of people would look at as a whole. If you were trying to draw a particular conclusion, then you wouldn't look at everything as a whole.
Right. And the thing is, this is a game. Do you still have fun playing the game? I mean, especially after all this. I mean, why do you want to continue to play? Is it fame? Is it money? Is it glory? Is it? And I've heard you in the past that you wanted to be the best at something and have it in the books from this point on. And so that was very important to you. So why do you play? Do you have fun playing anymore?
Okay, that's a loaded question.
I'm not here without my gun and bullets. Okay, I mean,
Sure
I've got Billy Mitchell in front of me. I better be pulling. I better not be shooting blanks. Okay.
Okay, well, you're shooting bullets, but that's okay. We're not going to dodge them.
Nah.
To sit and play the very earliest boards of a game, any game, Donkey Kong, PacMan.
Yeah.
That's as much fun as it is digging rocks on a construction site. It's atrocious. However, what any person will tell you that's a competitive gamer is once you reach, the difficult stage, once you reach maximum, once you have a score going, once you have the adrenaline running, yes, that's fun. It's fun every single time. I speak for myself, probably for others, but definitely for myself. It's fun because the adrenaline's going and it's me, no one else in the world. Me versus the machine.
Yeah.
Okay. It's me, smart, logic, reaction against a machine. Supposedly you can't outfox a machine, okay? But you can. And so when you play, that's one of the first things. The achievement, the satisfaction you get for the hard work you've done. I think in gaming, it's the same as anything in life. You know, I mean, how much fun is it to sit in a classroom?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
But then when you walk across, the stage, you have that, that diploma, that recognition.
So the achievement you get
that
a lot out of,
satisfaction.
and the journey to the achievement, and
Right.
to do an achievement where nobody else has done before, that keeps you going.
Correct. However, for a long time, I had become very content with the idea that I would be an ambassador. I helped begin something which was competitive gaming, the birth of esports all the way back in the 80s. I had begun that. I helped begin it. There were many people, and it was something that would be carried forward. And I gained tremendous satisfaction thinking about that. And how do I push and advocate for people who carried onward, who deserved recognition and notoriety? And that's what I did for many years going through the show. The least important thing I did at the show was play games, the very least. Now, in the past couple of years, it's become more important because of the pressures that you speak of. But I look forward to getting back to what I enjoy more at the shows. However, I'm asked in every single person I talk to, yeah, but are you going to keep playing? A strange twist has happened here. Yes, I do enjoy playing. And unfortunately, my son set me up on Twitch. There, I meet people that are friends, that have been friends in the past. I meet people that I've met at shows. I meet people that I've become close to now. People I have become friends with now that I've never met, that I've only known on Twitch. And the guy says, oh yeah, I got married. Oh wow, I didn't see your stream because my daughter graduated. You come to know people on a personal level.
Yeah.
So now I'm stuck with the point, you're right. Okay, redemption, Yahoo, let's all have a party. And what do? I just close the laptop and shut everyone out.
Right.
That's too difficult to do.
Yeah.
Would I stream in a more structured manner? Maybe stream less, maybe here and there, kind of like weekly. You make plans to see friends or have lunch or dinner. Maybe it becomes more like that. Certainly, I certainly don't feel the need to do it.
Yeah.
But I feel the desire to do it because of the relationships that were formed.
Right.
And that is definitely not something that I would have imagined, a couple years ago when this journey began.
Right.
It was about 2 years ago right now when I think my son set up Twitch. If I'm wrong, I'm not wrong more than a week in one direction or the other.
Yeah.
Because he set it up in July, and by the end of July, I started, hitting 1 million point scores. So, and I would have expected initially on Twitch to have some clashes with a negative element, and I was pleasantly surprised. I don't want to say shocked because then you'll quote me, but I was beyond surprised that didn't happen, that it was almost all pleasant. Okay, I won't lie to you. There's always a wise guy, and quite honestly, when we do a stream and there's not a wise guy, it's kind of boring. We laugh. We go, "Wow, there haven't been any wise guys."
Yeah.
And
well, there's no one there to hear all of your bad dad jokes too. So I gotta throw that out. You are a dad. You have kids. Do any of your kids share any of your talents? I know your son has played and did very well in the Kong Off, and that was another thing you did this past year, 2019. You went to Australia and you played the Kong Off and you won.
Well, again, yes. Last summertime, my son hit a kill screen, and so then it was, the understanding, the humor, the news that we were the only father-son kill screen in history.
Yeah.
At least so far. We're trying to get my wife to play, but she's not going for it. But so yes, we were offered an opportunity in Australia to go to the Kong Off, and again, as a strategy, just to be honest with you, and this is being more than honest, we look at each other as a family and we talk. Do we want to do this? We're going down to a different place. You're going down where there's all these awesome people, so many of which we know, that are terrific, but what else is going to be there too?
Yeah.
And you're putting pressure on yourself. This was just after I said, I'm going back to Fun Spot. I'm going to do a perfect score on the anniversary weekend, 4th of July weekend. That's, again, it's like Babe Ruth pointing at the wall. You've put yourself under ridiculous pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But it went there and happened. So now I'm looking at Australia saying, wow, I go down there. Man, everybody has bad days. Everybody.
Do you think...
If I go down there, am I going to come back with my hat in my hand, or am I going to come back there, with the belt over my shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was awesome. And the fact is, the joke was that if in the finals or the semifinals, I had to knock my son out of the competition. If I hadn't done that, well, what if he won?
Yeah.
That would have been great, too.
Are they going to start calling him Donkey Kong Jr. now?
No, if I do, he'll hit me, and he's too big for me to get away with that.
So there's other challenges in front of you. This has been the 40th anniversary of PacMan. So on May 22nd, PacMan was born. It was originally titled PacMan. And Puck was the name to eat, so that's where that came from, and they had to change it. And so, but it debuted in Tokyo in an arcade, and they sold 100,000 original machines. Now, this being the 40th year, is that one reason why you went for the multiple perfect games this year?
Well, being in communication with Namco, because everything that I'm involved with that involves Namco is an honor to me. It truly is. And I did promise them that it's the 40th year, and I wanted to do things significantly to bring attention to PacMan, and I do, and I still will. And actually, on May 22nd, I would have otherwise been scheduled to do a perfect score there at their flagship arcade in Chicago. But the world and all the crises that the world's facing, that was not available. So, but I didn't want to just let the situation slip by. That's why I recently did the perfect game down here at Glitch Bar, just like you're saying. But the celebration of PacMan's 40th birthday is not canceled there in Chicago. It's simply delayed. They will have some major events there, and I'll certainly be a part of them. And then next year becomes the 40th anniversary of Miss PacMan. So I'll be concentrating there. So this year there's more concentration on PacMan, but that will shortly turn and go over to Miss PacMan. And again, you play continuously whenever you have time, balance with family, you have fun, but you gain a level of satisfaction, at least I do, knowing that almost on demand, you can sit and do the game you want to do.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Miss PacMan for a second, because you're no stranger to Miss PacMan. In fact, you did hold the world record in 1985 of a score of 703,560. And so now the world record right now is held by Abner Ashman, and it was set in 2006 of a and he got 933,580 points. Now, that's the human score. There was actually a computer that was set up that got a 99999, I think. And so they used technology, artificial intelligence to be able to do that. And so you've got some goals still in front of you. It may not be necessarily the road to redemption, but it might be the road to the future. Can you right now say that that's going to be your next path? Because last year you did state you're going to do something. Did you want to state that you're going to do anything with Miss PacMan? Maybe try to get the high score or beat that score? Are you going to be pointing in that direction like Babe Ruth on this one?
I'm absolutely going to be pointed in that direction. In the world of Miss PacMan, the guy to beat is Abner Ashman. Okay, he is He is all that in a bag of chips on Miss PacMan.
It's pretty phenomenal. It really is a high bar,
And
even
the
for
thing
you.
is, when you can play Miss PacMan, I can play Miss PacMan. I can play to the end. I can get a perfect score, but the perfect score varies every time because there's an element of randomness. You can play and get a world record and even miss points and still get the world record. So it's the kind of thing that some people would say is a little unfair. Well, in
all
order
all the points you get with Miss PacMan is miss points. I just had to point that out.
Right, this is good point. But some people would say it's unfair, the randomness. Well, one way that you'll tip the scale in your favor is to simply do more and more and more perfect scores, and eventually one of them will have the level of randomness in your favor.
Right. Because you've got smarter ghosts.
But the reason why, just so you know, the reason why the computer got a higher score on Miss PacMan, just because it wasn't beat by the human element, is because it didn't play me.
Ah, okay.
So take care of that.
Okay, so you're the unicorn, and you're going to throw chaos into the mix.
But that's exactly the direction we're going to go, and exactly where we're going to wind up. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Everything I do, every stream I do, when I have the lousiest time on the stream, as far as gameplay, we still have fun.
Right.
Every event we go to, we still have fun. And again, going back to from the year 2000 when I got off the stage at the Tokyo Game Show, when they crowned me Video Game Player of the Century, my goal was to advocate for competitive gaming and those players for the future. That's what I like doing best, and I've had fun at that since the year 2000, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to get back to. It's just now I have this baggage of having all these friends that I like, to play and enjoy games with. So,
well, you've heard it here on Southern Fried Gaming Expo. He's pointing toward he's pointing his goal toward getting the high score and dethroning Abner Ashman, which may be a very tough thing. It might not happen, but hey, half the fun is getting there. So that's the cool thing. Now, you were talking about fun before, okay?
But I'm hoping Abner's watching this.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that said dethroning Abner Ashman.
Yes.
I said I play against a machine.
Ah, okay.
Now, even
Are
if
you
I
a
have
machine?
if I have the good fortune of beating Abner, okay, that doesn't make him less of a player.
Yeah.
He is all that in a bag of chips.
Oh yeah.
He is the guy that I would not want to square off with on Miss PacMan.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's unavoidable. But no, the truth is, I would expect Abner also to best his score in the future too. I do.
Well, I wish you well on that, and I wish him well, and I hope it's a great competition.
I'm rooting very hard for him. I mean, I want him to come in second place. I mean, that's all.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out. Stay tuned to Twitch, and we'll be able to see that. Now, we've had all these crazy things we've talked about. We talked about your past. We talked about what you're going to be doing in the future. I've got a few fun questions for you, okay? Ready?
Okay, let's see what your definition of fun is.
Okay. First of all, these are questions that I found on the internet that everybody was asking. So, first of all, is that your real hair?
Well,
you're coming from a follicle-challenged human being here, so, inquiring minds.
I was going to say, I can definitely say for sure it's not your hair.
It's not my hair, no.
Good point.
No, definitely not.
But so far, each morning I wake up, I still got it. There's no reason for that other than good fortune.
Okay. How does your hair do that?
Well, I wake up in the morning.
Uh-huh.
When I get out of bed, you've seen people who shake their head like a poodle.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it all falls in place.
Uh-huh.
Some of us just have more blessings than others. That's all. Again, you don't face that, John.
I don't face that. No. So I've got hair envy for sure, no doubt about it.
But I will tell you that when I go to a show, when I go to Southern Fried Gaming Expo and I'm doing the panel discussion and it's all fun, every time I get a hair question, it either comes from a gentleman who's follically challenged, or the wife of a gentleman who's follically challenged.
Yes.
Always. It's kind of funny how people think, but that's okay.
Now,
What's up next?
do you sleep in your suit and tie? Because
I would if I slept.
Okay, so you're really a robot. You're some form of cyborg. Do you go to the bathroom? Do you eat? I mean, help me out here, Bill. I've never seen. I've maybe seen you eat, but it may have been like you're throwing it back or something. You're hiding something. Come on, you're electronic.
Well,
you're
as a
part
classic
machine.
game-
You're
as a-
Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, as a classic gamer, I'm known as one of the only guys that talks to the stream or talks a lot to the stream.
Uh-huh.
I'm also one of the only guys that eats on the stream too, so maybe that's an answer.
What do you like to eat? What does Bill eat
Besides hot sauce?
besides hot sauce and wings
No.
and popcorn?
Yeah, I was gonna say anything with hot sauce, but if I'm with my son and we gotta go somewhere, there's always wings or pizza or seafood. That's always on the menu.
And what do you
Always.
drink? Are you a Red Bull person? Are you a what's your favorite drink when you're playing
Besides water,
besides water?
well, again, I keep saying I'm gonna stop drinking soda, and of course I haven't. But again, and I got Robbie Lakeman to back me up on this. When I say I'm gonna play, when I say I'm gonna stream, what it is I eat and drink prior to in advance, you begin to prepare yourself, because depending on what you're playing, Donkey Kong, for example, there's no opportunity to walk away from the game.
Yeah.
In PacMan and Miss PacMan, there is. Some games there is. But what you actually eat or drink prior to gameplay, there is a regiment that a game player has to follow, otherwise they're in big trouble. And it's funny, I think it's so well known to the point, I don't know of a single time, and I guess this is a good question to put out to the audience, I don't know of a single time of a player who was playing for a significant score, who had a game going and ended up losing the game because of a bathroom problem. That's actually a question. If someone has an answer or they come back in the comments, that would be cool.
Yeah, because it's been unbelievable. I'm sure people are wearing Depends these days for some high scores, so it's just something that
Not yet, but maybe when I'm like 90 years old, if I'm still playing, I mean,
Well, you're
But,
54 right now. Your birthday's coming up too. July 16th, 1965 is when you were born.
every day's a birthday.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Okay, so the last thing I want to get to is
What do you mean the last thing? You said you had some fun questions here. What did I?
Oh,
knock
that
you out
wasn't
already?
fun. What would you consider a fun question? Do you ever
No,
dream?
come on, there's more. There's more. There's
you ever
more.
dream in PacMan? I mean,
Do I
when
ever-
you go to sleep,
yeah.
because you're looking at the screen constantly. I mean, how could you not?
Okay, I don't dream of Pac-Man because I don't sleep. But if I did sleep and I did dream of Pac-Man, I would probably dream of strategies. But the rumor is that when Pac-Man sleeps, or when the ghosts sleep, they have nightmares about me. But that's just a rumor. You can't believe everything you hear.
Yes, I can see that happening. Let's see.
Come on. I know you well enough. Come on. You got some harder questions here.
I think
Some tougher ones.
I pretty much delivered quite a few right now. So
Well, see, it's easy for you because we'll let the people know that you've been to a number of events with me,
yeah,
and so you know my character and what I like to do. And for example, when I go to the show, if Southern Fried Gaming Expo was actually happening this year, I like to be I like to be there. I like to be the first one in the door. I mean, the first one. I like to be standing there, and when each person walks in, I like to say hello and I like to thank them for coming. Again, they're supporting what it is me and people like me are advocating.
yeah.
Okay. I always pick on the people at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. They're awesome people. They'll give me a schedule of events and I say, what is this, a kiddie schedule? Who's the slacker? It's got me like set up for a break. There's no breaks. It's go, 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 go. As you say, I enjoy it so much. I enjoy the interaction with people. I can't imagine. We've been able to avoid problems at Southern Fried. And what I mean by that is, I remember initially when I met with them, I says, please schedule things accordingly. And what I mean is, if I'm at a table and there's people that are there in line or they want to talk to me, I don't care what is scheduled. I'm not going to walk away from someone who came all the way there, standing there, whether they want to talk an autograph, take a picture, they have a question. I mean, I'm never going to be that guy. And so they've done a terrific job in that. That's never happened there. But that's exactly what I want. That's the intensity that I want. I look at it as competitive. How can I do a better and better and better job? And I learned that, I learned it the hard way. I got stung a few times, and then I just realized that I can't do that. You talk all the time about me, how I'm like, the Energizer Bunny. I just keep going. And at the end of the show, I like to be the last one that pulls the door shut. But I get that level of satisfaction because I think I'm supporting what it is I'm advocating for.
Yeah.
Drives Walter nuts because he's 71 years old, so he's in a lower gear than me. So, but until I hit that lower gear, no, that's what I want to do, and that's why, when I meet people, once I meet them, I've never had a bad, connection, because you get to show the real part of you, or the interaction, or what you enjoy, or what you advocate for. And that's kind of something that I get from Twitch also. That's why it's so hard to close that computer. Sometimes I'm streaming, and I've been streaming for 8 hours or 9 hours. Yeah, but come on, there's 205 people watching. How am I going to close the computer?
Yeah.
At some point you have to.
Yeah.
I'm going through this because of the relationships that have been made. That's where my strength is. And, but I love the fun stuff. I love the pick on stuff. I love the hate mail.
Well,
I love you asking fun questions, and you only had one. I mean, come on, you're a slacker.
Oh, I had like 5 or 6. I ask you all sorts of stuff. So I ask you about your hair and your diet and what you like to drink, and do you sleep, and are you you'd never answer the one, are you a robot? So,
Yeah, I have to take the Fifth Amendment on that one, I guess.
Well, this has been a fun interview. It's good to see you. It's good to see you smiling a little bit. We just had a 4th of July, so we're all inside being safe before the COVID-19. So I hope you guys enjoyed Billy Mitchell coming in for the this edition, the virtual edition of the Southern-fied Gaming Expo. So thank you very much, Bill. Great to see you here, and thanks for everything.
I look forward to seeing everybody again. Southern Fried Gaming Expo absolutely has to be on the top of our list of favorite shows.